Hey there guys, it's Docs here again and welcome back to Planetside 2. Well, I've been planning for a while and sort of collecting stuff and ideas together to do more regular videos, but this kind of came out of nowhere and I had to make a video, and that is Hossin, which just literally an hour or two ago went up on the test servers as of recording this, and so I was probably one of the first people on that the test server when it went back up. And I've been looking around it so much, it's amazing. By far and away the best content they've released. The best sort of base designs and anything is just incredible. They've really upped the ante on this. This is the Interlink Facility, which is a new big base type like a tech plant, biolab or amp station. And my god, does it look amazing. There's so many more little details to it, and if you've seen the new estimate changes that came out a week or two ago, I can't remember now, that's really like the level designers went way up on that, but this is kind of even more of a step up. All the rooms and the different interconnected buildings and the corridors, and there's just so many more objects around as well, which not only makes it more fun to actually fight in and more interesting in terms of gunplay, being able to take cover in more areas and pop out in different areas, but it's also just so much more interesting to look at because it feels like a real facility. It's not just one big square room like a tech plant or something like that. So one of the interesting features of the Interlink Facility, which makes it a bit more unique, is that it has these light bridges in the very tops of the bases linking to different parts of the base. And these light bridges, you can see the colour there, the blue one I just looked at, they are controlled by these giant terminal things, so you can hack the terminals. You don't have to be an infiltrator to do that, apparently, because I was light assault here. And what I'm guessing, I didn't stick around and check these out too much, but what I'm guessing is when you take control of them, you're able to go across them, and obviously enemies can't go across them when they're your colour, faction colour, but they'll switch periodically somehow. I don't know whether there's a timer or there's something else going on there, but they'll switch to these gold colours, which are neutral and anyone can go across them. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure how these work, but they're really interesting. I can see these really coming into play in big battles with multiple empires, because each of the base areas of the Interlink Facility are separated off. So on the ground there's like sort of cordoned off areas where each empire will probably kind of be able to take control of one area, but they'll have to kind of push out of one area into another to take control, and each area has the generators there and the towers you can go up to and things like that. So there's so much detail and so many little different areas you can go into that it's going to be a really interesting base to fight over. You've probably noticed I haven't been attacked yet as well. I think because this was pretty much as soon as the servers went back up, everyone was just interested in looking about, and all of the empires were here, but they were all ignoring each other, which was kind of nice, but it didn't last very long. Eventually people did start killing each other, unfortunately, but you know, it happens. So I decided to climb up to the top of the tower just to get a bit of a better view. You can see one of those kind of self-contained areas there, which I imagine that an empire will be able to take control of first before pushing further into the base, because the base is so sort of sectioned off in different areas that, you know, that's probably going to be a regular thing you'll see, which is really nice. I like that idea of sort of progressively taking control of different parts of the base. But man, it looks amazing, and I love the fact that in Hossin as well, you'll notice that a lot of the bases almost look like part of the environment. Like they sort of look like they've been sort of grown around with all the trees and things over the top of them and canopies over. It's just amazing to look at, and they look like so much more a part of the world than any of the other facilities on other continents. You can see this biolab here. It's basically completely enclosed by trees. These trees are absolutely massive, and it's amazing. From certain angles you can't see the biolab at all, and I just love that. It's just so much more immersive when you see things like that. And just keep in mind that actually some of these earlier clips that I have here were before I turned my graphics all the way up. So I had a few things turned down, like shadows, fog shadows, ambient occlusion and things like that, and I turned them on later on, and you'll see some clips at the very end of the video with them on, and it really makes a difference because of all the fog and everything and the trees and things. It really adds a bit of atmosphere. you'll notice here that this area kind of looks a bit barren and the road doesn't look too great. And you'll notice that in a few areas dotted about in Hossin. Obviously it's incomplete and there are some little areas like that, so it's not quite perfect yet. Although bear in mind that this is only the very centre of Hossin. The outer areas of Hossin aren't available yet. I'm guessing that's because this server is going to be used for SOA Live, where they're going to allow players at SOA Live to play on the servers. So they want a smaller area to play on, and there's little staging posts around the area rather than having the warp gates available, so you kind of get out of bounds if you go too far out of the little central area that we have access to right now. And down there you can see acid. It's kind of green stuff there. It doesn't look, I thought it was solid at first, but when you actually go into that you die instantly. So that is acid, which I thought was kind of interesting. There's also another base here as well, which is a treehouse. I mean, how amazing is that? Just, again, I've probably said this a million times throughout this video, but the level of detail and the thought that they've put into these bases is just so far above anything that has been on any of the other continents. It's mind-boggling. It shows that they kind of rushed out the earlier bases, I think, in some ways. Obviously they've learned stuff as well, but they've had a lot more time to kind of flesh this out and make it interesting and give it some character. So in conclusion, I love this continent. It is amazing. By far the best continent that they've released, hands down. There's no competition at all. I will say there's probably a few issues performance-wise. It's not too bad. I probably didn't see much of a hit to FPS. I was playing a little bit higher settings than I usually would because I just want to see what it looks like and how amazing it looked. But I'd say the biggest issue I had with it was pop-in from trees and things when you're flying over the continent. It's very noticeable. I'm guessing they'll improve on that, but I don't know. Maybe eventually they'll fix it all together, but I don't know. The fact that they have so many objects on there though is really impressive, considering all the other continents have pretty barren environments. There's very few trees, very few buildings and things, and it's pretty impressive how they've actually managed that. I remember early on them saying that they had to scale back on the number of objects in beta and stuff on Indar, so they've obviously kind of gotten over that hurdle a bit. There's also a bit of an issue with the distance that you can see. You can't see very far. That's probably for performance, but it also kind of fits in with the fact that Hossin's kind of foggy and a swampy continent anyway, so it's not really that much of a big deal because you can't see very far on the ground when you're when you're covered or surrounded by trees. So yeah, not too bad. So I'm looking forward to seeing the whole thing once we eventually get access to it and really getting some awesome fights on there. So thank you guys for watching. I'll be doing a lot more content very soon, so I will see you guys again in another video.